Carl Rogers had a real useful, he's a psychotherapist, he had a real useful piece of advice about that. It's one of the rare pieces of advice that I think actually work in psychotherapy, because mostly that's about helping people discover what they need to do. They have to discover it. You facilitate that.
Right.
But Rogers said, look, if you're having an argument with someone, and this really works if it's someone close to you. It's like you're having this bitter argument. It's like, here's the rule. You have your say, then I am going to say what you told me. But you have to agree that I got it right. Right. And then the reverse. I get to have my piece, and then you get to say what I said. You don't have to agree. That's not the point. But you have to formulate my argument back to me in a manner that I agree with. And so you're going to reduce it to the gist. It means you're not going to treat me like an imbecile or a straw man.
Right.
And one of the things Rogers pointed out is if you do that, the arguments tend to become productive. So that's a lovely technique. It really does work.
Because immediately you're recognizing what they're saying.
You're at least listening. And the thing too is, if you listen to someone, sometimes if you listen to someone, they discover the limits of their own argument. They think, so they lay it out and they think, well, I'm really not as mad about that as I thought, or, that isn't exactly what I meant, or maybe there's something else going on here that I didn't understand. Like if you let them lay out the whole thing and you just shut up while they stumble around, then sometimes they stumble somewhere slightly more productive, and that's also useful. That's also, I think this is something that happens between men and women a lot. So a woman will be upset about something, and she'll come and tell her husband about it, and he'll try to solve the problem. It's like, wait a second. Now, and you think, well, the problem needs to be solved, so why isn't that okay for her? And the answer is, she hasn't fully formulated the problem. So you have to wait while she stumbles around. Not that women do that any more than men. That's not my point. Well, she stumbles around and says, well, here's why I think I'm upset. Here's one possibility. Here's another possibility. Here's another possibility. You might have to listen to 10 possibilities before the actual problem emerges. Because it's not like people always know why they're upset.
Right. Sometimes they're, especially if they're just upset at the moment.
Yeah. And then maybe something triggered it at work yesterday. And their boss said something rude, and they've been kind of stewing on that all day, and that's made them irritable. And then they snap at something trivial. And you think, well, what the hell's wrong with you? The person says, well, here's what it is. And you listen and you think, well, and then they stumble around and they think, there's something else that's still bothering me. And like it takes a bunch of digging to get to the bottom. So you have to shut up and let that happen. And then maybe you can think, okay, how can we solve this problem? But if you jump in there too early, you circumvent the process of exploration. You can't solve a problem unless you formulate it properly.